Deals like buy one, get one free really no longer exist. There are, however, some crazy offers like a free cat with every purchase. What a cool thing. Now, although that may sound like a joke, someone who had no intention of getting a cat did so. Unexpected friendships are supposed to be the finest, but this was completely different. It came a little too suddenly. Cat lovers would obviously benefit greatly from something like this, but even they might find this to be initially strange. Who on earth offers a cat for free when buying a couch? But wait, was it even deliberate? Let's hear the entire story. Kaylee Gilson recently moved into a new apartment and got rid of some of her old belongings. She listed her sectional sofa for sale along with some other items. She was also looking for some lovely furniture for her new apartment around this time, and she eventually discovered a cute gray couch. Despite being worn, the sofa was ideal for a new apartment. Gilson and her boyfriend made contact with the owner, and they proceeded to pick up the item, without realizing it was going to be accompanied by a small, fuzzy cat. Gilson wasn't too bothered by the couch's exposed springs on the lower side because it had been used. According to Gilson's account of everything on the dodo, the seller had already informed her that there was no liner under the couch since her Boston Terrier liked to rub on the underside of it. Gilson continued, saying, "We loaded everything into the truck, and we were relieved that we didn't have to go on a highway to get home, but the trip took about 30 minutes. The intriguing portion is about to start, though." Gilson worked from home the following day and saw nothing strange before her kid called her from the living room saying, "Mama, there's a cat in here." Gilson recalled, "He always talks about this fictional cat named Ender Dragon," she said, "so I didn't think much of it." However, it wasn't Ender Dragon this time. "Oh, it's only Ender Dragon, no big deal," I reasoned. "It's not a huge issue," continued Gilson. However, her kid responded, "No, Mama, there's a cat." To which Gilson responded, Yeah, play with Ender Dragon, have fun with him. Sincerely, I gave it no thought." Gilson resumed working without paying any attention, but then suddenly her dog began to bark. As a result, she hurried back to check on the dog, and when she did so, she sensed an odd presence. She looked closer and saw a tiny white nose and two shiny eyes staring at her from under the couch. Gilson became aware at that moment that an unexpected visitor had arrived. It had seemingly materialized out of nowhere, a full-grown cat. The cat's enigmatic appearance was charming, but it raised many issues for Gilson. How could the cat have entered when all the doors and windows were shut? "I began to think that the couch is the only thing I'd changed," Gilson remarked. "Perhaps the cat came in with the furniture." Gilson quickly sent a text message to the previous owner of the couch to ask about the status of their cat. The cat's mother found her lost pet after she arrived and had done a thorough 20-minute search. Being away from her favorite couch didn't make the cat particularly happy, but something needed to be done. And with that, an exciting day came to an end. We wish the cat luck in finding a new couch to call home. And as we're talking about used sofas and the strangest things we can find on it, here's another story about a woman who bought a $20 used couch, saw what was inside, and then dropped to her knees. 3 college roommates went out and bought the only couch that would fit into their living room when they moved into a new, slightly larger apartment. However, their expectations were limited to getting up off the floor and unwinding in front of the TV on an actual piece of furniture. The trio was unaware that anything was concealed there that would forever alter their lives. The 3 individuals quickly discovered that living away from home would be more challenging in certain ways. For instance, their lounge was so small that they were unable to find a sofa that they would all fit on and be big enough to accommodate everyone. It was a bothersome issue that prompted some enjoyable trips to a local thrift store. There weren't many options, though. The roomies were forced to choose a stale, old couch simply because it was the proper size. They enthusiastically carried the piece of furniture home after being pleased to locate something that would actually function. It was preferable to have an old couch than none at all, after all. Riss, Callie, and Laura noticed something odd about the couch, though, when they reclined on it. but they were unable to precisely identify what it was. They'd purchased it, even though it wasn't the comfiest or best-smelling item in the world. Nevertheless, though, they would still figure out why. Since purchasing the worn-out old sofa from the Salvation Army, months had gone by. However, the musty old couch was about to become a major issue very quickly. They took turns sitting in the lumpy position because no one would get comfortable there. But one day, Riss stuck her hand down the side and screamed. Now, although both girls jumped, they quickly calmed down after realizing she'd only received a pinch from the couch springs. They laughed after the amusing occurrence, and then carried on watching a movie on a Saturday night without realizing that they were perched on top of a misery much worse than any of them could have imagined. However, Riss contemplated what her hand had become entangled in within the sofa's cushions. Instead of feeling like metal hinges, it resembled something that was stuck inside or underneath the couch's material. She waited on asking the other girls if they noticed anything strange about their furniture from the thrift store, waiting to bring it up with their housemates until the following day. Despite their assurances that they would switch sides, though, she frequently ended up on the lumpy side. Ultimately, one of the girls said, "Riss, sit down and feel that. Are you feeling it? That's not how it's supposed to be, I'm sure of it." Each girl placed a hand against the fitted cushion and along the side, feeling it. Once someone pointed out where to feel, a sizable, hard, yet pliable object that was obviously not a component of the couch's original design became even more apparent. Now that everyone was interested, they decided to convert the sofa into its sleeping position so they could investigate what might have been wedged into the cushion and in what manner. After pulling the sleeper bed together, they understood that there was no way that anything could have gotten there by accident. Whatever it was hidden beneath the seams. Riss grabbed a kitchen knife and ripped into the couch close to the bulgy section in the excitement of the moment, as they were all curious now about what was inside the couch. The other girls pulled at the couch cover after being inspired by these insane antics, and a clump of bubble wrap came out. Riss scooped up the bulk of the bundle and peered inside. She saw a plastic envelope containing $700 and $20 bills hidden beneath the bubble wrap. The other girl stopped everything and stared at her in shock when she looked up at them. To count it, they got together, and then they wanted to know if there was any more. Ultimately, a stunning $40,000 in cash was discovered after searching the couch's interior. It was all organized into envelopes and tenderly wrapped in bubble wrap. But why was all this money hidden in a dated, dirty couch? Who would need to hide their money in such a way? Could it perhaps be something darker than they had thought? In all honesty, finding $5 in a couch would make me happy. Everyone imagines that one day they'll genuinely discover a hidden treasure, a fortune in the millions. Paying off student loans and international travel were at the top of the trio's list of dreamy purchases they had already begun making in their heads. But even more so, Riss admitted, "I would have given my mom a new automobile. I really wanted to surprise her with a brand new vehicle because the vehicle she currently drives is a piece of crap." The answer to their questions appeared shortly afterward. A short letter containing a woman's name was placed inside one of the final envelopes. They all felt their hearts sink simultaneously, since they knew they couldn't hold on to their prize for very long. We had numerous moral debates regarding the money. We all concurred that we had to return the money to whoever it belonged to because it was theirs, not ours, said Laura. They all decided to track down the mystery woman who had stashed a tiny fortune under the sofa because none believed it appropriate to hoard someone else's hard-earned money. Riss called the number of the owner shortly afterwards, hopefully to tell the woman some good news. Riss described it later, saying, "I'm like, I found something that I think's yours." And she's like, "What?" And then she says, "Oh my God, I left a lot of money in that couch." And I said, "I found your couch." Now, even if that's unbelievable, what follows is even better. The 3 college students, who were on the verge of becoming wealthy, hopped into a car to return the money to the elderly woman. And when they arrived, no amount of money could have made them feel better about what they'd done. We all concurred that it was necessary to return the money to its rightful owner, Laura stated. It belongs to them. We didn't deserve it. The elderly woman started telling her tale, saying, "For 30 years, I've kept my savings and my husband's savings in that couch. I underwent back surgery soon after he passed away." She was profoundly devastated by what followed. The woman's daughter sold the couch that her mother had slept on and bought a new bed, thinking that she was doing her mother a favor. We need more people like those 3 roommates. These 3 roommates intended to buy a couch, but they were grateful for all the opportunity that followed. Laura remarked, saying, "We almost didn't choose that couch, but it was the only couch that had the correct dimensions for our living room, even though it was very ugly and smelled."